evening, everybody. Welcome to a regularly scheduled meeting of the East Windsor Regional School District. We can have everyone's attention. We have exciting things on the agenda for this evening. So we are going to open the meeting. Written advance notice of this meeting was provided at least 48 hours ago. Such notice provided the time, date, and location of this meeting and included the agenda to the extent it was known at the time. Notice of this meeting has been given in accordance with law. Minutes of this meeting are being kept by the board secretary and will be made available promptly to any member of the public requesting them from the board secretary at 25A Leshen Lane, Hightstown, New Jersey. Minutes will be provided at cost in accordance with board policy. Are there any board members present who believe this meeting to be in violation of the Open Public Meeting Act? There being none, in compliance with the fire code of the state of New Jersey, I call your attention to the emergency exits for this room, which are located behind you and going towards the parking lot and on either side, left and right. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item C.
Having read the materials received, I move the agenda be approved as submitted.
Second.
Poll the board, please.
Thank you. Ms. Berjoli.
Yes.
Ms. Concepcion.
Yes.
Ms. Drake.
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso. Okay, thank you. We'll fix that. Mr. Laverty.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Mr. Weeks.
Yes.
Ms. Lands.
Yes. Item D.
Be it resolved that the East Windsor Regional School District may hold 2 closed sessions at this meeting. These closed sessions concern HIB report for June 9th, 2025, non-certificated non-renewals, personnel, administrative introduction, and CSA evaluation. Minutes of these closed sessions will be made available to the public when the need for confidentiality no longer exists.
Second.
Poll the board, please.
Ms. Berjoli.
Yes.
Ms. Concepcion.
Yes.
Ms. Drake.
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso.
Yes.
Mr. Laverty.
Yes.
Ms. Patel.
Yes.
Mr. Weeks.
Yes.
Ms. Lands.
Yes. We will now move on to our retirement recognition.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. It's always a pleasure to celebrate our tremendous staff members throughout the district, especially on an evening when we're celebrating folks who are retiring. I'm a little envious, but I'll move on, and we'll get into the proceedings just to kind of celebrate the years of dedication and service that these individuals that we're going to recognize this evening have provided to the East Windsor Regional School District. So with that said, I'm going to turn things over to the Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources, Mrs. Felicetta.
All right, thank you. Good evening. My name is Sam Felicetta, and I am very, very happy to be here with you this evening to celebrate our retirees. So we have a number of friends and family that came out this evening. Thank you so much for joining us. When you look at the number of retirees that are actually here in the room with us this evening, it represents over 240 years of service, which is just an astronomical number. to think about how many students were serviced in those years over that amount of time. And there are several of the retirees this evening that are being recognized for well into 30 years of service themselves, and even one over 40 years of service. So the longevity in this group is really something to be admired. Teaching and education in whatever the role is, whether you're in the classroom or a support staff member, we are grateful for the time, effort, and energy that you have devoted. We would like to thank you for your years of service and for the impact that you've had on the East Windsor Regional School District. So I'm going to call up the principals one at a time to introduce our retirees, and we are going to start off with Principal Gladkowski from Walter C. Black.
Okay, I would like to welcome Rose Leibowitz up to the podium. Come on. Yes, you. I would, yeah, would you do that? Okay. That's great. All right. That would work. Okay. Thank you. Rose Leibowitz has dedicated 36 years of her life to teaching in both New York and New Jersey. She has influenced the lives of students across many grade levels from pre-K through third grade. For the past 21 years, Rose has been in the East Windsor Regional School District. She began her time with us at GNR, where she was a push-in writing teacher, an enrichment teacher, and a third grade math basic skills instructor. From there, she went on to teach third grade, second grade, and first grade, ending her career as a first grade teacher at WCB. Rose is not shy about speaking up at meetings, readily sharing her thoughts and ideas. She is passionate about educating students. Although Rose is a gifted literacy teacher, she also has a passion for math. She started a math club for students where students participated in challenging problems and practiced math proficiency skills. From the moment the students walk through the door, she is maximizing her time with them, and she teaches to the very last moment of the day, and sometimes past the very last moment. Rose sees each student's potential. She is compassionate and encouraging, and her students thrive because they know she truly believes in them. Rose has a great sense of humor. We've shared many laughs over the years, and I will truly miss our little chats. Meetings will not be the same without you, and our school will not be the same without you. You have left a mark on our school and the lives of so many. You have given so much of yourself over the years, and now it is time for you. Congratulations on your retirement.
Oh, thank you.
No, this is for you.
I'd like to call up Principal Folks from EMK.
She's already up and coming. She's so shy. Come on down, Ellen Ogans. 8 years ago when she started, I didn't have to wear readers, by the way. When I started, not she started. Anyway, okay, it is an honor. No, she's, yeah.
From Ben Franklin.
Okay. It is an honor and a privilege to stand before you tonight as we celebrate the retirement of an exceptional educator, Ellen Ogans, who officially retired in January after an extraordinary 34 years of service to our district. Ellen spent her entire career as a special education teacher, and her impact has been nothing short of life-changing. She ensured that every student who entered her classroom felt seen, supported, and empowered. Her work was never just about teaching. It was about building confidence, nurturing resilience, and helping each child discover their unique strengths. For the past 8 years, I had the privilege of serving as Ellen's principal, and I can say with absolute certainty that her dedication, patience, and unwavering belief in her students changed lives. I'll never forget how, when Ellen would worry about the challenges a new student might bring, I'd remind her that she always found a way to bring out the best in them. And she did, time and time again, with humility, grace, and heart. And she would always say to me, "You can say I told you so." Ellen was not only an excellent educator, she was also a trusted mentor, a thoughtful colleague, and a steady partner to families. Her influence extended far beyond the classroom, and her presence helped shape the culture of our school in meaningful ways. Ellen, thank you for the 34 years of extraordinary service, for the lives you touched, and for the legacy you've left behind. While your retirement began in January, we are so glad to celebrate you tonight alongside this amazing group of fellow retirees. We wish you continued joy, good health, and plenty of well-deserved relaxation in this next chapter.
I'd like to call up Principal Emerson from GNR.
Rhonda Yervez, please come on up. Rhonda Yervez is retiring from the East Windsor Regional School District after 17 years of service. For about 6 of those years, she worked as a substitute educational assistant and secretary. In those roles, she supported teachers, staff members, and students. Because of her work ethic, patience, and commitment to helping the people she was working with, Mrs. Yervez was well respected and often requested as a substitute. I met Rhonda at the Melvin H. Krebs Middle School, where she often substituted in clerical positions. She accepted a long-term position as my secretary and was officially hired 12 years ago, and we've been working together ever since. There really are no words to express how much I appreciate Rhonda and everything she has done for me throughout the 12 years she's been my right-hand person. Most importantly, Rhonda and I share a brain. She always knows what I need and when I need it, and most of the time she knows what I need before I do. She keeps me organized and on time, which is no easy feat. She is also a confidant, protector of my time, part-time therapist, and friend. I will treasure the time we spend together and the good work we've done to create a warm and welcoming and calm school environment for both the MHK and GNR school communities. I'm not the only one who loves and appreciates Rhonda. She is well respected and loved by staff members, students, and families. She is kind and patient with everyone and makes sure that the teachers and staff members have everything they need to successfully teach and support students. She goes out of her way to get things expedited, whether it's a purchase order, work order, or any other issues that may come up. She's also very understanding and forgiving when folks miss her deadlines, and she works with them to get things done. She handles challenging situations with grace and ease and definitely embodies our GRACE values: good-hearted, resilient, authentic, creative, and encouraging. Rhonda has made a lasting impact on me, the school community, and the East Windsor Regional School District over the past 12 years. She may be moving on, but she will not be forgotten. Thank you for all you have contributed to make every place you worked at better for the people you worked with. I wish you all the best in this next very exciting chapter of your life. Good luck, and
I'd like to call up Principal Allen from the Perry L. Drew School.
I would like to welcome Miss Mary Ann Worley to the podium. Thank you. Cheers to, 2.5 more weeks of you having my back. I really appreciate you, Miss Worley. For 38 years, Mary Ann Worley has poured her heart, her time, and let's be honest, her signature style into the East Windsor Regional School District. From her student teaching days at the Drew School to many impactful years at both PLD and EMK, Mary Ann has consistently showed up with enthusiasm, humor, and the perfect accessory. Though I've only had the pleasure of working with her for 1 year, it became immediately clear that I was in the presence of a master teacher. Her classroom, or as she affectionately calls it, the Worley House, is known for its academic rigor, vibrant energy, and tight-knit family-like community. She's a teacher whose name carries a legacy, whose laugh fills a room, and whose presence is felt the moment she walks through the door. Now, let's do a little Worley math. Over the course of her 38-year career, she has crafted approximately 7,410 lesson plans across 5 subjects a week. She's written nearly 2,508 report cards, each one personalized with care. Most importantly, she has impacted the lives of hundreds of students, many of whom still hold in their hearts as a favorite teacher. I've even met a few of her former students who now have or are about to have 3rd graders of their own. And yes, they've politely asked if she'd reconsider retiring. As Miss Worley steps into her next chapter, we wish her sunny vacations, endless time with her grandchild and her family, and front row ticket seats to every concert she deserves. Miss Worley, thank you for 38 unforgettable years. You leave behind a legacy of excellence, joy, and sparkle. We are all better for having learned from you. Congratulations and happy retirement, Miss Worley.
Yeah.
That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you, my love. I'll be back this summer, don't worry.
Can't wait. Can't wait.
Okay, you're good.
I would like to call up Principal Lugo to join me from MHK. We're a bit of a tag team this evening. I'd like to invite up Robin Britt. It is a pleasure to honor Miss Robin Britt as she retires from the East Windsor Regional School District. Miss Britt serves as a campus monitor at the Melvin H. Krebs Middle School. Robin can be seen actively monitoring the building, but spends most of her time in the 8th grade hallways where she's been assigned for the majority of her 17-year career in East Windsor. Staff members rely on Miss Britt to help them in the hallways, on the recess field, and in the lunchroom. She is collaborative and she is flexible. She's worked with a number of principals and assistant principals, countless staff members, and students. She is assisted in training new campus monitors and can often be seen as the leader among her peers. In addition, Robin prides herself on keeping staff and students safe. She has made connections with students and helped them to make better choices and to meet their potential. She is much more than a campus monitor. She is a valuable member of the MHK community. It's hard to imagine the start of a school day without Robin's smile and dedication to our students. On a personal note, I've worked with Robin for quite some time now. She has a big heart, and it showed when she worked with each and every student. I'm grateful to have worked beside this amazing woman. We wish Miss Britt well as she heads into the next phase of her life. May she enjoy her time with her friends and family. May she have health and happiness. Thank you for serving at MHK in our community. We appreciate all you did for our children and for our school. Congratulations, and may your retirement be wonderful.
Thank you.
I would like to call up Patricia Winthrop. It is a pleasure to honor Miss Patricia Winthrop as she retires from the East Windsor Regional School District. Miss Winthrop serves as an 8th grade English language arts teacher at the Melvin H. Krebs Middle School. Prior to MHK, Miss Winthrop served as a teacher at a parochial school. She worked for the East Windsor Regional School District for 17 years, starting in 2007. In that time, she has gained the respect of her colleagues, students, and the parent community. Miss Winthrop has a deep love of literature and teaching. She's a dedicated staff member, and she focuses her efforts on preparing our 8th graders for the rigors of high school. Whether the students are in book clubs or working on a writing piece, Miss Winthrop has a graphic organizer or a rubric to help students frame their thinking and be successful with the task at hand. Every day in every class period, Miss Winthrop can be seen standing at her door greeting students as she enters the room. Miss Winthrop is a team player and works well with her peers in both the 8th grade Sigma Academy as well as the Language Arts Department. She has a wonderful sense of humor and often makes her colleagues smile. She has volunteered to be on the school climate and safety committee and is always willing to share her perspective with administration. Her insights have always been very much appreciated. She has had a beautiful career, and we wish her well as she moves on to this next exciting time in her life. She's a very, very proud mother and grandmother, and it is a delight to hear her talk about her family. Patricia, may you enjoy your retirement and time with your family and loved ones. Krebs is grateful for your dedication to our students, and we're grateful for your talent. You will be missed. I would like to call up Principal Vinson. And while currently Ms. Weintraub is housed at MHK, she has spent the majority of her time at HHS, and so Mr. Vinson is asked to do the honors.
Okay, Helene, you can come up now. Oh, boy. Okay, this is going to be fun. Okay.
I got faith.
Don't have that much faith. Tonight, I have the honor of recognizing someone who's been a cornerstone of Hightstown High School community, a dedicated educator, an advocate in every sense of the word, a colleague, and most importantly, a friend. That's what Helene's been to us. Helene has been a vital part of the math department and a passionate EWEA representative, always stepping forward to advocate for what she believed was right for our students and staff. She is someone I deeply respect, not just for her intelligence and dedication, but her unwavering honesty. You never had to guess what Helene was thinking, because she would just tell you. And honestly, I did value that. Over the years, Helene and I built a relationship that some in our building jokingly compared to an old married couple. I have lots of work wives. We had our share of spirited debates, if you call it that, Yes, sometimes loud and sometimes passionate, but always grounded eventually in respect. More often than not, we found common ground, and even when we did not, we left those conversations knowing that we were still on the same team, but we would say that someone owes someone a drink at the end. Always. That's a rare and important thing in education today, where too often administration and staff are seemingly always at odds. Helene and I proved that collaboration, even in disagreement, can thrive when both parties feel deeply and listen fully. Since I made a decision to step aside from education, I found myself reflecting more and more on the people, the moments, the work we've done, and the relationships that have made this job more than just a job. Helene is one of those people. She's been a constant presence, supportive, challenging, but loyal. Even this past year, while serving in the professional development role at Krebs, she kept checking in, even when I told her she didn't have to, asking about how things were going at the high school, and of course, giving her perspective of what I needed to do. She reminded me once, she's reminded me more than once, that to be part of this place, it never really means that you leave. We used to joke about retiring together, never really believing we would come so soon. Yet, here we are, turning a page on this chapter, but I know this is not goodbye. Our friendship is something I look forward to continuing the next stage of our life. Helene, thank you for everything, for the debates, the laughs, the honest conversation, and the belief that even when we don't agree, we still can work together for something greater than ourselves. You leave behind a legacy of advocacy, excellence, and heart. Congratulations on your retirement. You've earned every bit of it, peace, joy, and the freedom that comes next. But don't think you're off the hook completely. I'll still be doing my check-ins. I put these together myself. Oh, this one, I'm sorry. You don't do a warm-up act again? Sam's my warm-up act. So tonight I'd like to recognize one last high school member, and that's Miss Terry Sullivan. Congratulations. All my building reps are retiring in 1 year.
Sorry to see that.
You'll break somebody. They'll break somebody else in. Okay. Tonight we recognize Ms. Terry Sullivan, a teacher whose commitment to the science education has elevated student achievement and strengthened the professional culture of our school community. For more than 30 years, everyone here at Hightstown High School, Ms. Sullivan has redefined rigorous learning in the science department, challenged our advanced placement and honor students to reach their highest potential. Her AP bio labs are legendary. Data tables buzzing with inquiry, students debating hypotheses as confidently as graduate researchers, all aiming to achieve results that place them above state and national averages. Each lesson invites learners to stay curious, to pursue the why behind the what, and to view science as the lens through which we understand and improve our world. Real-world scenarios anchored every unit, prompting students to apply classroom theory to practical challenges. Ms. Sullivan's influence extends well beyond the science department. As an East Windsor Education Association building rep, long-serving executive board member, she offered colleagues clear guidance, steady advice, and an open door. New teachers credit her for clarifying contract language. Veteran educators relied on her calm counsel during negotiations and, at times, policy shifts. Her leadership is woven into our faculty, and we've made them a better place, a better informed professional community. Ms. Sullivan, your rigorous instruction, high expectations, steady advocacy, and personal belief in every learner has profoundly shaped Hightstown High School. On behalf of the Board of Education and our administration and the countless students and colleagues you have worked with, we wish you the very best in your retirement. Best of luck to you, Terry. You're one step ahead of me. Congratulations. Best of luck. Thanks.
I'd like to call up Superintendent Daniels, as we have 2 administrative retirements that he's going to present this evening.
Okay, I'd like to call Mr. Dennis Benson up. That's right. Let's hug it out. Let's hug it out. So, come right. So I'll say tonight that it is with respect and sincere appreciation that I recognize the outstanding career of Mr. Dennis Vincent, who has served with distinction as the principal of Hightstown High School for the past 13 years. I will also add that Dennis has 35 years in education. Throughout his tenure, he has demonstrated a relentless commitment, steadfast reliability, and a powerful belief in the potential of every student. As he transitions to a much-deserved retirement, we celebrate a leader who has left a lasting legacy of excellence, belonging, and Ram pride. Known for his dependable presence and consistent leadership, Dennis was someone the entire school community could count on in moments of celebration and in times of challenge. He led with clarity and conviction, never losing sight of what mattered most, the well-being of growth and success of our students. A passionate child advocate, Mr. Vincent worked tirelessly to create an inclusive and supportive school climate, a place where every student felt seen, valued, and empowered. Through thoughtful leadership and intentional practices, he nurtured a culture where diversity was embraced, voices were heard, and belonging was valued. This type of environment didn't happen by chance. It was the result of a deliberate action and heartfelt care and support. Among his many achievements, the expansion of co- and extracurricular athletic offerings stands out as a hallmark of his vision. Dennis believed that every student should have the opportunity to explore their passions and contribute to the school community. Under his guidance, Hightstown High School saw continued growth in clubs, organizations, and interscholastic athletic programs, providing more students than ever with meaningful opportunities to connect, lead, and shine. His leadership during the COVID-19 pandemic exemplified grace under pressure. With empathy, resilience, and laser focus, he guided Hightstown High School through uncertain times, ensuring safety while preserving a sense of connection and continuity. Through it all, Dennis remained a source of stability and support. I will always be grateful for the time that he dedicated during the spring of 2020 to ensure that each and every 12th grade student had the opportunity to walk across the stage to receive their diploma when we were unable at that time to have a traditional graduation ceremony. I mean, he was outside here in the hot sun for 2 weeks straight, so I really definitely appreciate that level of dedication. Committed to safety, collaboration, and student success, Dennis built strong partnerships with staff, families, and the broader community. Together, they cultivated a school culture grounded in trust, inclusion, and high expectations, a culture that will endure long after his final day as principal. As Dennis prepares to begin his retirement, he leaves knowing Hightstown High School has forever been transformed by his leadership. On behalf of the entire East Windsor Regional School District, I extend deepest thanks and best wishes for a joyful and fulfilling retirement. Dennis, your impact is immeasurable. Your Ram pride will be everlasting. Wishing you continued success. They didn't get to your house? Oh. All right. Sure. Thank you. Do you want to introduce Aaron, or would you like to say it? All right, so next up, I'd like to call to the podium Dr. Aaron Servillo. So you may, just by that entry, Aaron actually retired in December. So you see the energy is noticeable, very noticeable. Aaron, I'll say right now, your flowers should be delivered to your house any moment now. Went a little different direction with you, okay? So, a couple things. Aaron wasn't even going to come today. Let me just say that. So thank you, Margie, for doing some persuasion there. So I'm glad it worked out. So good to see you, okay? So for me, look, it's Erin, I'll just say in terms of me being in the district for 6 years when I first arrived, Erin was part of my initial leadership team, so I owe her a great debt of gratitude here. So this is great for me to be able to express some words of appreciation for her. So what I'll say is, it's with heartfelt admiration that I recognize the retirement of Dr. Erin Cervillo, who served as the exceptional Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources since 2016 with a career lasting about 40 years or so. Her relentless commitment, principled leadership, and contributions to our school community will be remembered for years to come. Throughout her distinguished tenure, Erin led with integrity, compassion, and a resolute belief in the power of people. Her strategic, thoughtful approach to recruitment and hiring attracted talented and dedicated educators and staff, professionals who reflected our values, which contributed to elevating the learning experience for all students. Her leadership in the development of a welcoming and structured new teacher orientation program ensured every new educator felt informed, supported, and prepared to thrive. A strong advocate for equity, Erin worked to embed fairness, respect, and a sense of community into the district's human resources process. From hiring to retention, from leadership development to policy revision, she helped shape a district culture rooted in dignity and opportunity for all. Erin also served as a skilled and principled leader in the realm of contract negotiations. It's fitting that Ellen is here as well, actually. Bringing clarity, preparation, and fairness to every discussion. Her approach cultivated trust and collaboration, strengthening the relationship between the administration and staff associations. She was also instrumental in ensuring the district's ongoing success with the NJQSAC review process by maintaining rigorous standards and seamless compliance with our human resources practices. Her leadership during COVID-19 as well was nothing short of extraordinary. Amid unprecedented challenges, she worked closely with administrators and staff to guide the districts through uncertainty with calm compassion and clarity. From managing staff who were directly impacted by COVID to evolving safety protocols and wellness supports to remote onboarding. Erin was a stabilizing presence and a trusted leader. Erin served as a consistent source of support to the superintendent of schools, offering sound counsel, discretion, and invaluable partnership. Her insight and leadership strengthened every initiative and invaluable partnership. Her insight and leadership strengthened every initiative, and her presence was a powerful driver behind our district's success. Dr. Cervillo has also been a pillar of the district's leadership team, known for her candor and some would say brutal honesty, collaboration, grace, and steadfast dedication to every student and staff member. Her constant support to all district staff through both professional guidance and personal care earned her the respect of colleagues across every school and department. On behalf of the Board of Education and the entire school community, I extend my sincerest gratitude to Erin for her exceptional service to the East Windsor Regional School District. We wish her a retirement filled with joy, wellness, and continued happiness. Thank you.
I want to thank the principals for all their preparation and their wonderful words this evening, as well as Mr. Daniels. And I want to give a shout out to the HR department, Janet, Margie, and Julie. Thank you for organizing tonight. And a special shout out, give it up for the HR department. And also a shout out to Mr. Daniels' secretary, Luz, because she also helped organize tonight. So thank you. There are a couple of retirees that are retiring this year that were unable to be here with us this evening. So I did want to make sure that I read their names aloud so that we could just give them a round of applause to honor their service to the East Windsor Regional School District. Francis Lavelle, Hightstown High School, social studies teacher. Maritza Reyes Albert, Hightstown High School, world language teacher. Patty Angelini, Melvin H. Krebs Middle School, English language arts teacher. Julie Kudish, Hightstown High School, special education teacher. Susan Herr, dispatcher for transportation. Mona Sifet, educational assistant. And Maria Ali, secretary for the Special Services Department. We wish them all the best in their retirement. Mr. Daniels?
Yeah, in closing, I'll just reiterate what I said at the beginning of this evening. I'll say it like this. I think that for us, this is people work at its core. For some of you that know me, I tend to say that quite often, but it truly is. It's about the people. Tonight, in terms of some of the folks we recognize, we had individuals that dedicated 30-plus years of their careers to the East Windsor Regional School District. So when you think about their legacy and the students and families they've impacted, and also colleagues, that is something that I'm not sure from a societal standpoint if that's where we are anymore. So I really appreciate the level of dedication and professionalism that these individuals have provided to us. So this is the time for you to enjoy that next chapter, right? You deserve that, you've earned that, and I wish you continued health. And Ms. Worley, you said you're willing to sub. We'll be reaching out to you in a few months to see how you're doing. But in all seriousness, definitely appreciate all of your efforts. Our children have benefited from your service to the school district, and I just thank you. Congratulations.
It's a Kodak moment. If all of the retirees could please come up and join Ms. Lands. Yeah.
Yeah, I just wanted to say congratulations to all the retirees and thank you once again for all of your dedication to the district. We value everything you've given us. And so have fun and have a great new adventure. So now we're going to take some pictures, and after we take those pictures, we're going to start in about 5 or 10 minutes after that. So thanks. Oh, yes, food and all the celebration food is in the side cafeteria, and we'll resume about 7 o'clock.
Retirees and their guests, welcome. Hello?
guys are working, right? That one is working. Oh, wait. Test, test. Oh, you are working. Good evening, everybody. We're about to restart our meeting this evening. We are going to move ahead to our student representative report.
Okay, so good evening, everyone. As always, it is a pleasure to be here with you today and share some of our school happenings. So first, there are a number of award ceremonies that have taken place to honor our seniors. Last Tuesday, many seniors were honored during the annual Senior Award Ceremony, and these awards range from scholarships for essay-based contests, athletic recognitions, and academic awards. Many students walked away with scholarships that will help them succeed and support their further education or career path, so we're very grateful and proud of our seniors.
On that same note, last week, Hightstown High School had the honor of hosting its first ever after-school student about literacy awards ceremony to recognize a record number of bilingual and even trilingual scholars proficient in numerous languages in front of their parents and guardians, as well as our EWRSD school community. District and building administration were also present, and light refreshments were provided.
Next, this past weekend, the HHS South Asian Club, or SOTH, held their annual cultural performance on Saturday at 6 p.m. We had an amazing turnout with around 300 plus people in attendance and got to showcase many traditional South Asian dances, such as Bhangra, Ras, and even a new dance called South Indian. There was also singing, a very lively skit that the audience grown to love. This year, the showcase also involved the East Asian Pacific Islander Club with their own cultural dance of Tinikling as well. Graduating seniors in the club were honored on Sunday with roses and speeches, and the show turned out beautifully, and we are looking forward to their success and cannot wait to see what they accomplish next year.
Many of our drama students led successful one-act plays, which consisted of 3 successful plays created and fully directed by our students on Friday, May 30th. From heartfelt storytelling to dramatic plot twists to hilarious mix-ups and mishaps, these 3 plays celebrated the creativity and talent of our student artists. Additionally, with regard to sports updates, most of our school sports seasons have come to an end, and we have some athletic achievements to spotlight. On our track team, Burke Thompson broke the school's 1,600-meter record, and Michael Fowler and Liliana Marina won the 2025 CBC Sportsmanship Award. The girls lacrosse team set a new record for the most wins in a lacrosse season. The softball team won the CBC tournament, and Olivia Pignatello received recognition for 100th career hit. Additionally, on the women's track team, freshman Chloe Lewis broke the school long jump record after competing at the NJ Track and Field Meet of Champions. Overall, it was a very highly successful athletic season.
As you can probably tell from the pulse of these events, there are many exciting senior-related events that have passed and are coming up soon. One such highly anticipated event is our senior prom at Battleground venue. We would like to extend our heartfelt thanks to the Parent Association for all their hard work in setting up and running our after prom at the school this upcoming Friday night. We would also like to thank all of our class advisors, grade assistant principal, and everyone involved to give us a night to remember. We are so excited for prom this Friday. Just a reminder, seniors, given parent permission, will be allowed to leave school early on Friday and can therefore also start picking up their caps and gowns from 10:30 to 1 p.m. After that, promenade will begin at 4:15 p.m. at the HHS Stadium, and then followed by prom, which will be from 6 to 11 p.m., and then after prom will be from 12 a.m. to 4 a.m.
Selected high school seniors were invited to invite the honor roll breakfast, celebrating students who have earned the honor roll status almost every marking period throughout high school on June 17th. We look forward to this opportunity to celebrate our students and hardworking teachers.
Our next event revolving around the seniors is the very well anticipated car parade. Our graduating seniors will get to decorate their cars with college themes and all of their post-secondary plans. While at the school, guests will stand around the school to cheer them on. The parade will start at 5:30 and will have music boosters with food and drink sales, so make sure to come and support this milestone for our seniors.
Student Council's annual Ramboozle event will be held on June 19th during school hours from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. This is Student Council's biggest end-of-the-year event and will have numerous activities for students to participate in to celebrate the end of the year. There will be food trucks as always, inflatables, the annual soccer tournament, and so much more, so please be on the lookout for this event. Additionally, there will be no school on Friday, June 20th, due to Juneteenth.
We are also excited to say that graduation will be on June 25th at Cure Arena. Students are required to bring their own transportation and students must arrive before 2 p.m. Feel free to attend the graduation ceremony to support our seniors, especially given that tickets are not required to purchase. We hope to see you there as we officially end the year. Now, regarding diploma distribution, all seniors have the opportunity to pick up their diploma and scholarships from their senior awards the day after graduation on the 26th, so please mark this date in your calendars.
I just want to take this moment to thank dearly our gracious student council advisors, Ms. McDougall and Ms. Blanford, who have allowed us to represent our student body successfully. I also want to thank our student council team that has worked with us to host numerous successful school events and fundraisers. And finally, I also want to thank Mr. Vinson and Mr. Daniels for their constant support and encouragement alongside the EWRSD Board of Education and the Heights on community for this opportunity.
I'd like to echo that sentiment, especially as we pass on to the next new leadership. I'd like to take a moment to deliberately thank everyone who has been a part of this journey. First of all, a huge thank you to our advisors, Ms. McDougall and Ms. Blanford, whom I've had the privilege of working with for the past 2 years. Next, a big thank you to Mr. Vinson. I feel incredibly lucky to have worked so closely with him to truly understand the pulse of the student body. I'd also like to extend my deepest gratitude to Mr. Daniels for his continued support from last year through now. And finally, a huge heartfelt thank you to all of the members of the EWRSD Board of Education for making this opportunity such an honor and a privilege. I know we will definitely carry all the lessons learned and the memories we've built here with us as we head off to college. So thank you so much.
Suhana and Senji, thank you so much for your dedication and being here with us this past school year. The information you present to us is valued, and the contributions you've given us have been really appreciated. So we wish you good luck in all your future endeavors, and go out there, have fun, and change the world. Mark has some things to say.
Hey, you know,
and we have a little
before
presentation.
we let you go today, we have a small parting gift for you. So I'm gonna as is the tradition, we like to just have a small thank you to our student representatives to the board for kind of dedicating that time throughout the school year. Obviously, you could be doing plenty of other things on Monday evenings throughout the year. So definitely want to thank you again for all of you that you've done this year. I think your reports have been comprehensive, thorough, and really serve as a very accurate pulse of what's happening within the high school community. I think you've served as great models. One of the things that we do, obviously, is we have our board meetings that are televised and recorded, so for the folks who are kind of following your footsteps, they can refer to the tape to get a sense of how to do it, because I think you've modeled it exceptionally well. So before you get out, if I know your family's here, I want to thank your parents for allowing you to do this throughout the school year. I want to thank them. I think I'd share with them personally. I thought they've done an amazing job with the two of you. I know you're moving on to post-secondary opportunities, so wishing you all the best, and I think you'll continue to make us proud wherever you choose to be. So a couple of things here. So plaques for each of you. I'll start with Sahana, obviously, and they say the same thing, but presented in appreciation for your dedication and integrity while honorably serving as student representative to the East Windsor Regional School District Board of Education for the 2024-2025 school year. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. So Sanjeet, here's yours. Says the same thing. Presented in appreciation for your dedication and integrity while honorably serving as student representative to the East Windsor Regional School District Board of Education for the 2024-2025 school year. Thank you. Okay. All right. So look, you're welcome to stay for the rest of the meeting. If you need to leave to get some last-minute homework done, we will understand, but definitely want to thank you really for your service this year. Been much appreciated. Thank you.
Okay, everyone, we're now going to move on to our student safety data system update.
All right, let me just lay the stage here. So I'm going to ask Lauren O'Brien, Director of Counsel, well, I should say Supervisor of Counseling at the high school, really across the district. She also serves as our anti-bullying coordinator, which means that she kind of provides oversight to the harassment, intimidation, bullying process, and provides direct support to the anti-bullying specialists at each school. Tonight is a required update connected to certain instances, and Mrs. O'Brien will kind of elaborate on that, but it's based on a few. Oh, it's on the, well, oh yeah, you're okay, okay. So tonight serves as a reporting mechanism related to HIB incidents, confirmed HIB incidents, but also some other incidents that have required reporting incidents, and those are things related to certain violent-related incidents, substance abuse, and some things under that umbrella. So this report tonight reflects report period 1, which is really the beginning of the school year through the end of December. It's kind of broken up into 2 pieces. So this will serve as reporting period 1, September 1 through December 31st, 2024. Probably in October, we're going to do an update for report period 2, which serves as January through June 2025. So with that said, I'm going to turn things over to Ms. O'Brien, and she'll provide the information for report period 1.
Okay, good evening, everyone. Can you go to the next slide? So this is the student safety data presentation that we have to do twice a year. This report just includes all of the incidents that we need to report to the DOE under the categories that are listed above. So I'll talk a little bit about what each category, what kind of incidents might fall into each category in a few minutes. Next slide. Okay. Oh. It's probably in your inbox. Yes, yes, please. And the next slide. Okay, so this is an overview of our numbers for report period 1, which is September to December 31st. This report period is shorter than the second report period, and we often say that during this report period, students are just kind of getting settled. Sometimes they might be in a new building. So our numbers for report period 1 do tend to be slightly lower than what we see for report period 2 because it covers less time. So you'll see starting with Hightstown High School, all the schools are listed on the left. Across the top, you'll see the different categories. You have the numbers in front of you, so I don't have to read them out. The totals are listed at the bottom. And then if you go to the next slide, I'm going to start to break down what the numbers look like for each category. So our first category is violence, and on the right-hand side there, you'll see what type of incidents would fall under the violence category that we would report. So Hightstown High School had 9 incidents during report period 1. Those incidents were at Hightstown High School, those incidents fall under the fight category. And for CREPS, we had 11 during report period 1, and those were fights, and then we had a couple of threats in the simple category. And then in elementary schools, we did not have any incidents of violence. So next is vandalism. And Hightstown High School, the incidents were, we had 3 of them. They were damage to property and 1 theft. And at CREPS, the 2 incidents were both damage to property. We did also have 1 incident at EMK, which is kind of unusual at our K2 building, but we did have a student make just wrote an inappropriate word on a piece of playground equipment. So we do report everything that falls under this category. Okay, so next is substances. It's really important to take a look at the side here. And at the bottom, substance types that are not reportable. This comes up a lot. Tobacco is not something that's reportable. So you'll see that our substances at Hightstown High School, our number is 18. And we did have a little bit of a slight increase. And when I reached out to the building administration to find out why maybe was there an increase over last year, there was 5 more incidents of substances. They attributed that to the use of the vape sensors. So essentially, there's maybe more incidents of this that are actually being caught by administrators. And at CREPS, we had 3 incidents, and in both buildings, the substances were marijuana for all of the incidents. Okay, next, moving on to weapons. In the district, in report period 1, we had 1 incident, and this incident did fall under the knife blade category. And in the particular situation that the administrators described, the student did come to school with a blade and mentioned that it was related to their job on a construction site. So once that was identified, though, it does count as an incident for SSDS. Okay, so these numbers represent the number of HIB cases or investigations that were confirmed as fitting the criteria for HIB. And this is, again, just for report period 1, so September to December. And for Hightstown High School, we had 4 cases confirmed. At CREPS, we had 7. And at Perry L. Drew, we had 1. So this does not include all of the investigations that we may have conducted throughout the year. We're just reporting on the cases that are confirmed. So just a minute to talk about some of the remedial measures. So when we go through and report all of these incidents, we are working with students throughout the school year. Everything from decision-making to peer conflict mediation to really do whatever we can to make sure that we can limit these types of incidents. Certainly, the counselors that I oversee in the department, K-12, are going to be having conversations with students after there might be a discipline imposed. Certainly, students that may be involved on either side of an HIB case. We do have student assistance counselors in both the middle school and one in the high school. So those counselors are working directly with any students who have been found to be in possession or under the influence of any kind of substances. They're also working with students in other capacities. They are doing some mental health work with students, but the student assistance counselors are working with students once they are found to be in possession or under the influence. And there's also a great deal of work that they put in terms of prevention and preventative measures and climate and culture in both buildings. We're also looking to utilize restorative practices whenever it's appropriate, whenever we can, with students to help them to understand, again, the process of decision-making, and how their actions can have an impact. Each building has a school climate and safety team, and that team is going to be working throughout the school year to review discipline data. We look at any trends that we might be seeing in different buildings in terms of HIB cases, and that can directly drive our programming and what kind of things we might be working on, what kind of interventions we want to put in place, or initiatives that we want to run in each building. So that's just kind of a snapshot of some of the things that we do to kind of mitigate all of these, incidents that we talk about or that we report out on each year. And we will be reporting out in October for report period 2, and also for the HIB self-assessment, which is a process that we'll engage in over the summer and in early fall, which is all related to this. That's it.
Hi, I do have a few questions. For vandalism, is that only on school, like property, and or does it also apply to like student to students? Like, let's say a student stole something from another student.
It would be in the building. So if there was a theft in the building or on the bus, then that would be an incident.
Okay. And then for when you talked about like the threat symbol, right? And we talked about the marijuana and stuff like that. I know sometimes the district sends out like a letter to make sure that, or to help the community to not be like in a state of panic or confusion, like to, you know, to calm people so that way people can know what's going on rather than, you know, what they hear. How are those chosen? Because so when we talk about these, I'm sorry, I don't know if I'm asking it correctly, but how is that chosen? That you're like, all right, let's send out a letter to the community about what actually happened with the simple threat, or what actually happened with the marijuana at Krebs, rather than letting the rumor mill kick in.
That's really not a question for Lauren. It's a question for me. It's all based on the situation at hand, to be quite honest. There's not a one-shot deal. It depends on the circumstances and the level of disruption that we anticipate. I would just say that. I mean, ultimately, something typically more so under the threat umbrella would be something that we would communicate just to kind of try to clarify what that might be. Other issues like, substance abuse and so forth, I typically would not be communicating that to the community. And if there's an incident that might have implications of identifying a student, without intentionally identifying the student, then I typically wouldn't communicate that more broadly either.
All right, thank you. Sorry about that. Thank you, Mark.
Any other questions?
Yeah, I have one quick question. So I'm really concerned about the marijuana part for the middle school students. So those who were like, take that, I'm sorry, what was the remedial measure done?
I'm sorry, can you repeat the measure?
You said like there was a substance used, right? The middle school students for the marijuana.
Mm-hmm.
So what action was taken for that? Were they sent for counseling or disciplinary? What action?
Yes, always. So any student at the 612 level is referred directly to the SAC. That's the student assistance counselor. So they'll have regular meetings with that student. Sometimes they'll involve the parents as well. If it is a situation where the counselor feels that the student could benefit from a higher level of care, they might refer out to resources for support. But it is an ongoing support that the counselors will provide to those students.
So there will be follow-ups for that, right?
Absolutely.
Got it. Yeah, that's really important. Thank you.
Any other questions? Okay, thank you, Lauren.
Thanks.
Thank you, Lauren.
Ms. Lance, can I just, for the board's information, when it comes to dealing with a mic, it works a lot better when you get a lot closer to it. So as a general rule, think of a fist. You want to be about a fist away from the microphone when you're speaking. The more you get back here, the more you fade away, as opposed to when you get really close, and you can hear that difference. So when you try to speak, get really close to the mic and it'll pick up really well. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. We'll now move on to our superintendent report.
You said a fist, right?
Fist, please.
All right.
You have a booming voice.
Okay, all right. So good evening again, everyone. A few updates for tonight. some of it, the student representatives stole my thunder a little bit here. I do want to begin, obviously, just by once again congratulating our retirees tonight and thanking them again for their service to our community. I also just want to reiterate the appreciation for our student representatives who committed their time and did it quite diligently this year by providing us routine updates regarding things at the high school. Tonight, we actually, well, past couple of months, we've been going through the process, student council's been going through the process of identifying the successors for Sahana and Sanjeev. And we've identified 2 students that will be kind of taking the baton, as it were, from the 2 of them. We're going to invite them to the July board meeting, not to report out, but just to kind of introduce them to the board. Typically, we would have had them here tonight. The scheduling did not work out. So Daniel Mahaney, I believe it's the last name. I hope, Daniel, that I said your name correctly. And Sophia Buddha will be our student representatives for the upcoming school year. Obviously, we look forward to welcoming them. And as I said, the game plan will have them meet you at the July meeting. And obviously, they'll begin their formal process to report out during the September board meetings. Just a staffing highlight or personnel agenda highlight tonight. On the agenda, there's a recommendation for the Hightstown High School Athletic Director, Christopher Varag. Chris currently serves as the Director of Athletics and Director of Athletics in Jamesburg, also a PE health educator, and also a varsity baseball coach at Marlboro High School. So, and he's been doing that for the past 10 years. So we're looking forward to Chris joining us. Chris has been kind of informally just being a spectator and just getting a feel for the community, but definitely we're excited about Chris joining us. The process that led to this was kind of multi-layered. We wanted to make sure we got it right, and the high school had a committee team established. They forwarded some final candidates to central administration. We were pretty, I'm going to say, diligent about ensuring that we were thorough in terms of identifying what we thought would be the appropriate candidate, would be a good fit for our school community. So very pleased to recommend Chris tonight, and the board will have an opportunity to meet Chris during the executive session. In terms of the seal of biliteracy, I do want to highlight that. I think that's a point of pride for the school district. Our student representatives did indicate that in their report, but last week, June 5th, we recognized approximately 80 Hightstown High School seniors who earned the New Jersey Department of Education Seal of Biliteracy. This impressive milestone requires students to demonstrate that they are able to speak, read, listen, and write in 2 or more languages. So definitely want to make sure we commend those students. I do think it's a great reflection on our school district and our high school in particular. In terms of recognition, last Wednesday, Hightstown High School principal, Mr. Vincent, and myself had the honor and privilege of attending an awards presentation by the State Board of Education for Hightstown High School senior Olivia Roberts. Olivia was selected as the only student representing Mercer County, all districts within the county, to receive this special award. The award is tagged to usually a spring selection. Historically, this used to be an award for a group or an organization within the school. I think for the past 2 years, they've transitioned that to being more individualized. So we were honored to have a student selected. Each spring, the New Jersey State Board of Education honors students who have significantly contributed to their schools, communities, or families. So, Olivia is a well-rounded student, strong academic student, strong athletic student. She also is connected and committed to community service and has a significant number of volunteer efforts that she's engaged in. So we were thrilled for her to be recognized as being the student selected out of all of the districts in our county. Another thing that guess under the recognition umbrella, it is recognition season to some extent. I will highlight the senior awards that took place last week as well. About 114 seniors received monetary recognition. Well, most of them did, but they all received some level of award and or scholarship to highlight their academic participation and performance, as well as their artistic participation and performance, as well as their athletics. Some students may have crossed over a few of those categories, but nonetheless, a large number of students received some level of financial contribution to offset their post-secondary experiences. You know, we could not do this if we did not have donors who kind of undergird those scholarship opportunities for our students. So I definitely want to congratulate our students that were recognized, but I also want to thank the donors who so graciously and so generously support those endeavors. Last week I had a chance to attend my final concert of the year, you know, so I am kind of like the concert promoter here. Yes, I'm known as that. So I did attend the GNR had their orchestra concert last week. I believe it was on Wednesday. So I definitely want to congratulate all of those music educators and our students. I was amazed by the number of students who were participating in that orchestra. I've been wowed by the growth of our program at the elementary level, which really serves as the seeds to kind of growing our program. And that board support, you know, that's been consistent has enabled our students to really benefit from that. So really enjoyed the performance, and I want to commend everyone, parents included, for supporting their students and keeping them in the program as they're beginning, some of them, to transition to the middle school next year. Also under the arts umbrella, last Thursday, I had the opportunity to attend the Heightstown High School Art Show, which was here in the library, which served as a showcase for our students and some of the work product that they've been involved with this year. Our art educators here at the high school were all in attendance. I want to commend them for the amazing work that they do with our students to kind of unlock and unleash their creative talents. You know, we know woodshop here is a point of pride at the high school. I was amazed by some of what was created there, whether it was something practical like a dresser or an electric guitar. But it was definitely an impressive evening and a great showcase of our student talent within the high school. A couple of year-end events just to kind of wrap up the year. Obviously, this is our last board meeting of the school year. We have some transitioning events occurring. We have our 5th grade promotion events at both PLD and GNR scheduled for June 19th. Two events, or I guess, or 2 segments of that will be split the 5th graders. So we have a 9:30 and 11 a.m. Opportunities for 5th grade promotion. Our 8th graders will be here at the high school on June 23rd. I believe that's at 5 p.m. They have their 8th grade promotion will take place outside at the stadium. Looking forward to that. And then things will conclude on June 25th at 3 p.m. at Cure Arena for our graduates, our Heightstown High School graduates. So looking forward to all of those events. And with that said, that concludes my report. Thank you.
Thank you, Mark. We now have our first opportunity for board member comments. No board member comments? Then we will move on to our first opportunity for public comment. Is there any members of the public who wish to speak? Okay. You just come up to the podium. If you could sign your name and address and state your name and address. And there's 3 minutes of time. If you can, I'm sorry, if you can press the little button on the bottom right, it looks like a little person. There you go.
Yeah, okay, got it. My name is Emily Yang, and I live at 107 Hutchinson Street in Heightstown. My daughter will be a freshman at Heightstown High School this fall. I'm speaking tonight to express my concern about the changes to the performing arts electives at the high school, specifically the elimination of the dance program and the lack of transparency surrounding these decisions. My daughter was recently informed that the theater class she registered to attend this fall may not be offered next year due to low enrollment, and that none of the dance electives would be running for the same reason. And while we were disappointed, we initially accepted the explanation until we began hearing from other parents and students that many other arts electives are expected not to be offered this coming year, and that Mr. Fania, who has been central to the high school dance program, has been reassigned full-time to the middle school. So this raises serious questions. Was the decision to eliminate high school dance electives truly based on student interest, or was it driven by staffing changes that had already been made? Were students ever given a fair opportunity to enroll in these courses before they were quietly removed? Is Mr. Fania now permanently assigned to CREPS, effectively ending dance at the high school? Was any student or parent input sought before this change? And when will families be officially notified that HHS no longer offers any dance classes, as well as any other changes in what elective courses will be offered? The performing arts are a vital part of a well-rounded education, and they offer creative outlet, build confidence, and foster lifelong skills. When these opportunities are quietly eliminated, it sends a message that the arts are expendable. That message is disheartening, not just to my daughter, but to many students who rely on these programs to express themselves and feel connected to school. So I just wanted to urge the board and administration to provide clear answers about what happened and why, and to explain what steps will be taken to ensure families aren't left in the dark in the future. Can a list of all electives not running next year be shared with the public? And can the administration provide a clear picture of the future of all performing media and visual arts programs at the high school? Transparency builds trust. Without it, families feel blindsided and students are the one who suffer. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Could you please sign in?
Oh, is it underneath this? Yeah.
I'll provide, there are quite a few questions you asked there. So I'm not going to answer every question, but I'm going to try to give you some context. And obviously we can have some follow-up discussion subsequent to this meeting if you'd like some more detailed information. And definitely I would encourage you to communicate with the Hightstown High School administration if you haven't already. But what I'll share with you is that, one, I agree with you. You know, the performing arts, as you heard me talking about earlier tonight, I think it's a critical component of a comprehensive educational experience. When we're having conversations about electives, those are choice courses. And unfortunately, well, the reality is we assign teachers to children. And in order for courses to be viable, we need to have an adequate number of students participate. So what I would say in terms of these courses, theater and dance in particular, those courses were under-enrolled. We didn't have enough students who signed up for those courses. We were having difficulty with those courses this year in terms of the number of students who signed up for them. So what I'll say to you is this: I think that we all value theater and dance and what it provides to students. The thing that we also recognize is that students have choices, and sometimes one could argue, I'll never say they have too many choices, but I think when students have to make decisions regarding scheduling options, they do have to prioritize what they're selecting. The reality is we didn't have enough students to sign up for those courses. Historically, we balanced those courses between the middle school and the high school. So just to answer your first point, no, there was no premeditated decision to determine that we were transferring a teacher to a particular location. We decided that we could have a more robust, programmatic offering at the middle school where we have more control. As you know, as a parent of a middle schooler, we don't have as many options. We do have options, but we don't have as many. So we do have the ability to kind of control the menu of options in a little bit more of a deliberate manner based on standards and so forth. So fortunately, we do have the opportunity to have teachers not split their time between two schools, but be housed at the middle school. Now, we haven't eliminated anything. We don't eliminate You know, we're just not offering a particular course or two or three or four for the upcoming school year based on student selection. So I don't want you, I definitely don't want the community to think that we're engaging in a course elimination project. We are not. But unfortunately, we can't run courses with 2 or 3 students in them. It is, we could, but it's just not a sustainable model. And quite frankly, it's not an enjoyable student experience to have 2 or 3 students in a class. So, but more importantly, it's just not, it is not sustainable, because if I did it for that class, we'd have to do it for all the other classes under the elective umbrella. So, you know, I understand your concern, but I don't want you to think that we've got an attack or an assault on arts programming. If anything, it's the complete opposite. We've continued to expand the palette of art offerings for students, and one could argue maybe the palette is too broad. But we definitely are not engaged in a mission to underappreciate the courses that fall under the arts umbrella. If anything, we're looking to celebrate that, encourage that, and support that. So those programs are still alive. I think we're gonna, every year, we will revisit you know, how we advertise, how we communicate, how we market programs to ensure that there's a level of student interest, and we'll continue to do that. I'm also hopeful the fact that the middle school can kind of serve as a kind of a soil of sorts where students are engaging in those opportunities and they want to carry that forward as they transition to the high school. But for the 25-26 school year, unfortunately, those courses are not deemed viable. Not because we don't value them, we just don't have enough students enrolled in them, okay?
Thank you, Mark. Are there any other members of the public who wish to speak? Okay, there being none, we will move into our first executive session, and we'll be gone 20? Yeah, about 25 minutes. Thank you. Okay, we're going to continue our meeting now, and we're going to pick up on item number 8, old business. We have our committee meetings listed there, so board members could see if there's any conflicts, and if they can't attend, just let the appropriate people know. Also, just to bring up, I know, Mark, we talked about this earlier, back in, I'm going to kind of paraphrase some board members. So back in March, Jagriti had asked a question after Sandy's presentation about some areas we were looking for continued growth improvement in, and Sandy had mentioned there would be a new data set available in May. So we're just wondering when that data may be available to be heard or given to updated to the board.
Yeah, so a couple things happened. We had NJSLA testing this spring, so we didn't want to kind of like pummel students with testing on top of testing, so we created some breathing room post NJSLA. So we will have some STAR test data. We actually have it now, but we need some time to process that and review it. So we should have, I'll provide the board with an update. I'll say by the next board meeting. It will be probably within the next 2 weeks, but I just say before the next board meeting. All right?
Okay, thank you. Did anyone have any questions else in this section?
No, I just wanted to ask about do we have a scheduled policy committee meeting on the 17th of June? I think that's in my calendar.
If you would like, I think you might be right. Let me just check something. I think when we met last time, let me see.
We were supposed to continue that review, that sunset review.
Is that the
of all
date
of
we
the-
selected? For some reason, I don't have it on my calendar, but I do recall that discussion. And I didn't send out an invite, which I usually would do. So if you all are available, let's go for the 17th at 5. Does that work? I think that's where we left it the last time, but I didn't follow up, so I apologize for that. 17th?
Well,
actually, you know what? Let me see. Hold on. Let me just make sure.
I'm looking at July 14th on this list.
I see the thing on July 14th, right?
The 14th?
There is a scheduled one for 14th July.
Oh, July, yes. July 14th, we're locked in. We were looking to do something prior to that.
Prior to it.
Yeah, so I think that's...
One more. Is it a virtual or is it in person?
Well, we can do virtual.
Okay.
We can do virtual. I think we definitely said the virtual works. So how about I do this? How about I reach out to the committee and see your availability, right?
Yep.
All right, we'll tentatively go for the 17th.
Since our last meeting, my extracurricular
it got busy.
Uber
Your
duties
calendar.
for my kids on the 17th is a nightmare.
It's not a good
It's a bad
go.
night for me.
All right, so here's what I'll do. I'll float a couple of dates with the group. If it doesn't seem feasible, we know we have July 14th locked in on the calendar, okay? But I'll follow up with you tomorrow, and I'll put a couple of options out there, and we'll see the availability, all right? Thank you.
All right, anyone else? Any questions? Okay, we'll move on to our second opportunity for board member comments.
So I have a report for the Wellness Committee. So the highlight of the meeting was meeting the therapy dog, Roxy, who visits the high school. And the information that we got from Roxy's handler was that people are very engaged by the dog and come in and pet the dog and are very comforted by the dog. And the dog has been able to, intervene in different situations where a student was feeling really overwhelmed, and Ed was able to help be soothed by Roxy. And so we also have 2 other therapy dogs, Hudson and Oliver, and at Krebs and Drew. We got some information about the New Jersey School Climate Survey that was sent out and participated in by students, staff, and parents. And so the high school, so we had some strengths, high academic expectations. 72% of CREP students say all teachers expect them to work hard. Respect for diversity. Hightstown High School students reported that adults respect diverse backgrounds, including race, gender, identity, ability, and sexual orientation. Positive social emotional learning experiences. Students report learning useful social emotional skills and understanding how actions affect others. School safety. Students across all schools report a generally positive feeling of safety. Inclusion of students with disabilities. This is seen positively by most students. Areas for growth, according to students. There was some negative peer behavior. Issues like meanness, exclusion, and physical aggression are commonly reported. Peer academic engagement. Students perceive that some of their peers may not put as much effort in as they do, so they may not care about doing as well. There was a parent survey as well. The strengths were identified as respectful communication, high academic expectations, physical safety, and caring adults. Parents responded to those questions very positively. Areas for growth, parents wanting more engagement in decision-making, talking about wanting more mental health resources, and then also some concern about some peer behavior. And the staff, the strengths, strong relationships with students, safe working environments, positive collegial support, areas for growth, wanting, and needing additional supports, organizational supports, and leadership support. We also discussed some positive information about decreases in chronic absenteeism based on some actions that we've taken over the past year. Chronic absenteeism is defined as missing 10% or more of school days for any reason. That would be more than 18 days in the 180-day year. The state rate is 14.9%. The district implemented a chronic absenteeism plan with favorable results. So just for an example, at the high school, there was a decrease from 9.2% to 8% of students who were chronically absent, and then some more favorable outcomes at the elementary schools. And so that was really positive. That was all.
Good job, Jenna.
Any other comments?
Can I ask a question? How many times does the therapy dog come to the high school and the middle school?
I'm not sure. Dave, do you have an idea of the frequency of is it the therapy dog frequency at the high school, middle school? How often is the therapy dogs at high school, middle school? 1 day a week, right? Okay. Can we get them to come to the board meetings? Twice a month?
For the record, I asked that earlier.
I have a question. So at Krebs, they have the room. I forget what the name of the room is. It's like a sensory room. Is that the name of it? Oh, okay. Yay. All right, sorry. So the sensory room, how is that working out? Like, do we have, like, are students actually going there by choice? Or are they being sent there because of an action? Pretty much is the room getting a lot of use?
David, could you please come up to the microphone for the people at home? Thank you.
Can you hear me? Okay. So there's two ways you can use the sensory room. One, it's used to de-escalate students if they're having a behavioral crisis or they're very agitated. So one of our child study team members or our behaviorist who also has a desk in that room would bring them in there to help them calm down. For other students, it's used as a reinforcer. So they can work towards it, and that's the reward for good behavior. Okay.
All right, thank you.
Any other questions? We're good. Thank you, David. Okay, our second opportunity for public comment. Any members of the public wish to speak? No? There being none, we'll move on to item 10.
Motion to approve routine items by exception. Having read the materials received, I move that the board approve the routine agenda items as submitted. A, staffing for June 9th, 2025. B, staff renewals for 2025 to 2026. C, agreement non-bargaining employees 2025 to 26. D, comprehensive equity plan 2025 through 2026 through 2027 to 2028. E, district affirmative action team. F, job descriptions. G, HIB report from May 12th, 2025. H, travel and related expenses, June 9th, 2025. I, technology recycling batch number 57. J, approve MHK surplus library books for disposal or donation. K, East Windsor Regional School District Extended School Year Program 2025. L, out of district placement. M, professional services for students. N, Catapult Learning, LLC, Chapter 192, 193. O, Catapult Learning, LLC, Chapter 226. P, Homeless Transportation Quote for the 24-25 school year. Q, ESY Transportation bid results. R, ESY Transportation Renewals, Summer of 2025. S, Vehicle Maintenance Proposal for 2025 to 26. T, Co-op Purchases. U, Approval of Proprietary Provider Contract. V, Approval of Professional Service Contracts. W, Award Bid for EMK Playground Blacktop Replacement. X, Report of the Board Secretary and Financial Report, April 2025. Y, Expense and Transfer Reports of School Monies Report for April 2025. Z, Bill List of June 9th, 2025.
Second.
Any questions?
Yeah, I have a couple of questions. Item number D, which is the comprehensive equity plan, and there's like a big chart. It's saying it's compliant, yes or no. What is the purpose of this document?
School districts in the state of New Jersey are required to ensure that they have removed any barriers or hindrances to students being included in the educational program. So part of the process is for, one, obviously we have an affirmative action officer to deal with some of those fairness-related issues. What's on the agenda tonight is a needs assessment, which districts are required to complete to identify whether or not there's evidence, and oftentimes it's policy that's undergirding that. But it's not just policy, but oftentimes it's policy, could be some program, could be curriculum, where we're addressing some of the requirements that are listed in that left column. If districts identify areas where they do not have evidence to support a commitment to equity and inclusion of all students, then at the conclusion of that, districts are then required to kind of develop a plan to address an area of compliance where we're not meeting that threshold. So that is what's on the agenda tonight, the needs assessment connected to that. If you believe that your needs assessment is such that you've answered yes to each of those areas, or you have evidence and artifacts to support each of those areas, that really in essence will suffice as your plan. You're not required to develop anything beyond that. Okay?
Second question was related to item number T, co-op purchases. And I'm assuming that 268 Academy Street is the new admin building. And we are buying some doors of like $50,000 worth. I thought it was a small property, and how many doors are we replacing? And
So
why
these
we
are internal
replacing?
doors and external doors.
Okay. Do we have a number of doors we're putting in? Are they hi-fi doors?
2,
Fireproof
4,
doors?
6, 7. There's probably at least 7 exterior doors, and some of them they're getting changed. So for example, there is a almost like a patio sliding door. So we're like actually reconstructing, we're moving it and actually putting in something in its place, something different. So it's not like a like replacement, and they're more security doors than like a a hollow core panel door that you might find at Home Depot. Doors are very expensive. Even when we do renovations for our schools, a typical classroom door, if I told you it costs $10,000, yeah, because they're fire rated, right? So it's just not a typical door.
The second thing was the high school HSS AVAC unit. Did we get any state assistance, or this is all we are taking out of our pocket?
I'm sorry, which number were you asking?
AVAC at the high
Yeah,
school.
that's our ROD grant.
Our ROD
Yes.
Okay. All righty. And let's see. I think that was it. Thank you so much.
Hi, I have a few questions. So on E, the affirmative action team, how were they chosen?
Well, these are members of our district equity team. So it's a natural alignment in terms of the work they do.
All right, next question is for P. Homeless transportation. I gotta say, I don't understand. What does, so if the child is in a different school district, because it says that they're going to Brooks Crossing Elementary?
This is for a homeless student. The student is considered homeless. So part of the McKinney-Vento, the law that supports that is that the last district where the student's going to school in South Brunswick right now, but living in North Brunswick temporarily, we're tagged as the last permanent district where the student resided. So we're still kind of on the hook, as it were, for some of that, at least during the first year of the transition. So just while the child is still in homeless status. All right?
Just to put some context, sometimes the student who's homeless doesn't have any choice as to where they live, so they get pulled out of the district in order to be housed. And so then the district supports them, continues to support them.
Okay, thank you.
For the first year. If that residence where they're temporarily staying becomes permanent, then it transitions over to that district. All right?
Okay, thank you for that. And then last question is, and I don't know if this should be in old business, if I'm past the time to talk about it, but electric buses, because I see we're talking about buses here, but what's going on with electric buses?
I've missed talking about this with you over our past few meetings. Yeah, so we had a little delay with our vendor as far as procuring the buses, but we finally got that going. The buses are on order, and from what we're being told right now, they should arrive July-ish. So the most important piece, though, is for the chargers. So we awarded that bid about a meeting ago, and we actually had some pre-construction meetings. We had one last week, another one this week. Actually, JCP&L came out. So we are actually starting the installation of the chargers next week. And that should be pretty easy, an easy project, that there's really not much with that. Really, what it looks like now, the potential hang-up will be with JCP&L, because they have to expand the service at the phone, at the pole. So you ever go by a telephone pole and you see the transformers up on the pole? because of the EV buses, they need to expand that. We have to get a bigger one. And you actually approved that probably about a year ago. And we actually paid $22,000 for them, which is fully rebatable over a 10-year period, depending on how much electricity we use. And today, the JCP&L, I don't understand why they did this. It really made me upset. But because there was a delay with our contractor, they actually had those chargers, the transformers, a year ago, and they returned them. And I'm like, I gave you 20 grand. Why'd you return them? They didn't have a good answer for that. So JCP&L is going to be the holdup. But we're finally moving.
The doors, though.
They're cheaper than the doors, believe that or not. Yeah. So yeah, they're coming. So right now, the expectation, if everything goes right, everything should be here for the start of school, with the hang up of what's going to happen with JCP&L, because they don't start until we're done. So we won't even get on their docket. So who knows how long that'll be. So hopefully, because we're a school, we usually get a little bump on their priority list. If we were open to Dunkin' Donuts, as someone said today, we probably wouldn't see them for months and months, but hopefully we'll see them sooner. But it's coming.
And then how many buses and chargers?
4 buses, 2 chargers. Each charger can charge 2 buses.
All right, thank you.
Paul, I'm sorry, I just have a quick follow-up to Jean.
A few extra extension cords.
I think Jean should christen the buses.
I think so. I do.
Ribbon cutting.
So I have a serious question. Not that wasn't serious. I'm going to just say it. Apparently we've taken our silly pills this evening. I love it. Right. Maybe that's what it is. It's all the sugar from the cake. PSE&G returning those. Sorry. JCP&L returning those units. Are they going to upcharge us because of their error? Because I'm sure everything costs exponentially more now than when we paid for them a year ago. Have you had that conversation?
I would not expect that, and if they were to try, yeah, we would definitely have that conversation. Okay. But we're paid for them; they're ours. So, okay. From what we were told, and we actually confirmed through a secondary source, that the transformers themselves are not unique. So there isn't a long lead time, fortunately for them. So it's a few weeks. I find it hard to believe a company that size doesn't have these just laying around somewhere.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay, pull the board, please.
Ms. Bergioli?
Yes.
Ms. Concepcion?
Yes.
Ms. Drake?
Yes.
Ms. LaRusso?
Yes.
Mr. Laverty?
Yes.
Ms. Mahiri?
Yes.
Ms. Patel?
Yes.
Mr. Weeks?
Yes.
Ms. Lands?
Yes. Okay, we do in fact have a second executive session this evening, so the board will retreat into our executive session, and we do not have any matters to vote on, so we will just end our meeting as soon as we complete our business in there.